Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast, episode 108 for Tuesday, the 1st of February 2022. I'm your host, Mark Webb, gamertag PSNID, Steam ID, Webby 360G, and joining me on this very fine evening is...
I'm drinking Iron Brew and Jack Daniels because that's all I have. Nick Fights.
Just a bit of water for me. It's Sensei Switch.
How we diddling?
Not bad. Not bad.
Glad to hear
Really
it.
happy. Lovely Sunday afternoon.
It's lovely. Big Macca couldn't join us this week because he's not feeling very well, so we do wish Macca a very speedy recovery. Hope he feels better soon.
Yeah.
Peebs would come on, but he's already in bed at 8:30 in the evening. Lightweight.
He's got early starts though, hasn't
Lightweight.
he? I don't know. There's times when you got to get up at like 4 a.m. or earlier.
I don't know. Well, his excuse was he had a late one last night. I think he was on the piss again. I think it's caught up with him. So, yeah.
Yeah, getting on a bit.
He is getting on a bit, isn't he?
Get on with it. I was there last week till midnight and then got up at 4. What's the difference? Granted, I just went to work and just like slept in the chair all day, but I still went.
Yeah, see, Nick is hardcore. Yeah,
very hardcore.
Okay, so anyway, I want to say a big thank you to our VIP patrons before we crack on with the rest of the show. To Wes, Phil, and John, thank you very much for being super awesome people, and long may your patronage continue. Wes, I know you're listening. I would love you to come back to the Discord. I'm not going to say why he left or anything like that. I'm still talking to him every single day, but I would like to see him come back to the Discord because the banter without you just isn't the same. So, yeah. Hope you come back very soon. This week is Patreon week, so as you know, after about 20 minutes or so, it will kick into Patreon only. If you want to listen to the whole show this week, obviously, just sign up at Patreon, patreon.com/360gamecast, and you get a show every single week of the year and all the specials. How awesome is that? So all you non-patrons are very lucky this week because you get to hear what Nick has been playing.
Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, they love it, really. All right, first game I've been playing, well, I say played, and I finished, like, on stream. Just the next one, it's TimeSplitters Future Perfect on the Series X.
Wow.
That's the third one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the third one, because obviously they were on sale a couple of weeks ago in the big back and pat sale. They had for like £2 each. So even though I got them on disc, I still bought them digitally because, well, I'm just that guy, you know. I just can't be bothered to lean over and pick the discs up because, you know, I've got more important things to do with my time. I've got to make that Twitch millions, haven't I?
Too right, mate. Too right.
Or Twitch pound or whatever I get a year, something like that.
So you finished it? I mean, how long did you take it? Did it take for you to finish it?
I've done it in 2 streams, or 2 and a bit streams. So it's a good maybe 4 hours, 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
I mean, I got stuck a bit yesterday towards the end. I mean, basically the game plays brilliant. This is a huge step up from 2, even though I think 2's got a bigger following. But this, like, they've refined it. It actually plays more like, you know, Halo 1 controls, like a normal first-person shooter, you know, like, you know, left stick to move, right stick to look. And the right stick, when you're moving, it stays where you're looking. Whereas before, you know, as soon as you let go...
Snap to centre.
Right, yeah, it always snapped back to centre and things like that. But this plays, like, more like that. And, I'd say, the graphics, I think that has had a... like an Xbox, you know, sort of graphics update or whatever they have updated, because I looked at some YouTube videos and they do look a lot better than what they did. So I don't know if it's 4K or whatever. But
probably, yeah, they even just up-resing it to HD because those games were like played through SCART cables, etc. back in the day.
Yeah, plus on like PS2, that was like one of the worst pictures of, you know, the consoles back then. It was just like grainy.
How through the bastardised AV SCART socket lead, like, with the 3 wires going into the little junction box. start thing with the pins missing out of it as well.
Oh yeah, like only half the pins in there. Yeah, I remember that. Like learning what the difference between. Oh, that SCART lead's exactly the same as a normal RGB SCART lead. I don't need to buy one of those. And then you get one, you're like, yeah, I should have bought one of those. It's like, you know, there's a lot of difference in that, but
yeah.
But yeah, this I mean, like I say, I played through the whole game, and do you know what? I think this is actually a better game than like the last 2 or 3 Halos.
Wow.
And definitely the last few CODs, but I mean they've gone downhill.
Yeah.
I mean maybe the you know the shooting might be a little bit more refined on the newer games and stuff like that. But you know, as story goes, you know, I mean, like I said, very similar to 2. You go through, I think there's 13 levels in this compared to 10 in 2, and you're basically chasing this guy through time, and you're Cortez, who's, you know, the bald guy with the funny eyes, the funny robot eyes.
Right.
You're basically chasing him through time, all different levels, you know, like similar to the other ones. But the only trick is, which is like, there's actually 2 of you. At some point, like you'll see like future Cortez, and you're playing as him, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
You play through, and you're helping him, and he's helping you, and you get halfway through the level, and you go through a time warp again, and then you turn into future him and save your past self and things like that.
Right. That sounds quite cool.
Bits like, yes, of course, like you're on a train. I mean, there's so many rip-offs of movies like James Bond with like the bad guy like stroking the cat.
Yeah.
Like on the things like that. There's so many little nods. And then you've got I think it's sort of like a take. There's like a zombie like vampire level, which I'm assuming this one's supposed to be like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but she's basically like a schoolgirl, like in a mini skirt, like, you know, like a cheerleader skirt. Like
yeah, it would have been. Yeah, the original was like she was a cheerleader, wasn't she? I think.
Yeah, I think so. But then she's got a T-shirt with the word "slut" written on it, so I think that's always nice. You know, I don't think you'd get away with that sort of thing now. And then you've got like future like levels with like characters with like these, you know, like weird future suits, like all lycra and stuff like that, walking around in thongs and stuff like that, which is quite fun. But you know, like some of the levels that's really clever, like let's say you're on the train,
and
you're running along the train, and then another train turns up next to you, which is in the future. So you're on like the big machine gun, trying to take out the people around him whilst he takes on the helicopter. And then you carry on with what you're doing, then you turn into him. See what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff like that, and it's just really good. And you know, the level design, you know, the levels are really memorable as well, and things like that. I mean, like I say, I finished them both, and I want to play them again. Whereas, you know, with Halo Infinite and COD and things like that, I was like, I finished the campaign. I was like, bored now, finished. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's cool, man. I mean, they don't make them like they used to, do they?
Well, no. Plus, there's so much stuff in there. Like the bloke.
There's the content as well. Like from going back to play old games, you realise like a ton of things missing and modes missing from sort of future iterations.
Yeah, like Webby said with Halo, like no co-op, and I still don't think they've added any maps and stuff like this.
Some of the sports games have had it worse. Like some of the EA sports brands, like have had like complete modes like stripped out of the game and things you're able to do, and that just concentrated on like the Ultimate Team mode online.
Yeah, just basically every mode that they can sell you, like Ultimate Team packs and stuff like that. If you want to play a mode not like that, they don't really want you to play it, do they? So I remember when I played FIFA a few months ago on the game, like EA Access 10 hours, it must have took me 20 minutes to just find, you know, like the Premier League, just to go through the league. It was sort of buried in it.
Do you remember one? I was going to say, do you remember one of the 2K games where they actually had sort of like the gambling loot box, actual gambling in the game, and you went to a casino and sort of
machines and I remember the advert for it as well.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
this was during the whole Yeah, this was during the whole loot box controversy with EA and Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah. Wow.
And then they went and released that. It's like almost like a blatant in your face. You're like, you what, mate?
But didn't they
But people
say
still
with
buy it.
Battlefront? I think they said with Battlefront. Well, it's not a it's not a loot box. It's a loot crate. It's completely different. I'm like, well, no, it's not. It's just a different shaped box.
Oh, it's madness. Madness, I tells thee.
Yeah, but like I said, there's so much like content in this game. Obviously, I mean, I think the multiplayer is turned off, and they haven't turned it back on for Xbox, which was a bit sad. But
Can
I
you
had
still play
people,
with bots and stuff?
you can still play with bots and stuff.
Oh,
You
right,
can
yeah,
still
yeah.
play.
Good.
I think you could play 4-player like local co-op, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
that still works. So when my mates come round, we're going to fire that up on the Xbox and have a go at that. But there's like, I think there's something like nearly 100 characters you can unlock in the game as well, and I've unlocked a fair few. And I mean, because there was a bloke who came into my chat. There's a few because apparently there's a big TimeSplitters like following and stuff like that, and they were like watching. They were talking about all these forums and Discord servers they've got about TimeSplitters, and yeah, they were saying that they've got servers and stuff that you can like. I'm not sure exactly how you could do it, but you can use your Xbox as well, and they've got servers online, so you can play online with them.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
mean,
exactly sure how that would
a
work. But...
perfect scenario anyway. For shooting games in general, because of the nature of that game, you can have multiple levels set in all these different like biodomes and locales, etc., which keeps the game interesting. And yeah, it's an old title, and a lot of people who game now might not have even heard of it. But if you make a game good enough, it's going to garner attention anyway and pull people to that franchise.
Yeah, I mean, look,
There's a lot out of shooters. Like it's almost like a blank canvas you're given with those games.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main problem is I don't know who, if any of the developers who were on, part of, because obviously these are the developers that split off when Xbox bought Rare, and they went off and made Free Radical after they done GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, and obviously they went off and made TimeSplitters, and I'm not really sure if most of them are still about now.
They probably separated amongst different studios or something, or might have even retired by now.
Yeah, probably. As I say, probably retired. Yeah.
I think it's 2001 the first TimeSplitters game came out. You're talking 21 years ago.
Wow, yeah.
It's a long, long time ago. But I mean, this was such a lot. I mean, one thing which I thought was funny, and the guys in the chat, and they were like, "Oh, can we clip that and show that in our Discord?" I was like, "Yeah, if you want," because I heard there's a glitch even now. Like the last level, which I thought was brilliant, at the 13th level, actually go to a level from TimeSplitters 2.
Okay.
And you're stealthily doing stuff, and you're saving the character from TimeSplitters 2.
Oh, that's
you're not
awesome.
playing as And I'm like, I know this level. Oh, this is what obviously because I only played it last week.
Yeah,
I remembered it because my memory's not that bad. But there's a glitch in it where the bloke you're saving, Cortez, he can actually turn rogue on you for some reason. I think there's a glitch where one of the good guys can get in his way, and he runs into him, and that pushes them or something and turns him into a bad guy. So then he just decides he's going to shoot everything. And then then he teleports and then he's just started following me around, shooting me. I'm like, what are you shooting me for? I haven't done anything, but I couldn't actually finish the level because obviously I'm supposed to be saving this guy. I'm up like on a cliff, looking down on the level from TimeSplitters 2, and I'm supposed to be saving him. He's supposed to be down there going like through the miniguns, round getting attacked by all these monsters, and I'm sniping them. And then he's supposed to go.
Basically.
Yeah, so I'm Overwatch, but instead of down there, for some reason, he's up there shooting me.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah, it was weird. So, I mean, they were really happy about it because they said they've never seen it live or anything like that. They just said there's like, I think he said there's like one video on YouTube, and then I think people were complaining like, "Oh, this is fake. You've just faked it. You've hacked the game." So,
oh, nice, man. You're in a little bit of history there. Then you should put that video on YouTube. so many hits it gets.
Seems a lot like hard work, though, Webby. You know.
Man, just whack it onto YouTube. It's a piece of piss.
Maybe I'm very lazy. You know this, Webby.
You can even
There
just
are people that just rip it from Twitch, yeah. And put it up there.
well, on your Twitch account, you can just auto upload your videos from your Twitch to your YouTube channel.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean, though. If I might upload the clips rather than the whole stream, though, because I don't get that when people upload like 5-hour odds onto YouTube, because I'm like, no, Twitch is live, YouTube is like, it's even though they do live stuff on YouTube, I don't think a lot of people YouTube is like, oh, I'll add that to my watch later when I'm bored, and then I'll watch it later and stuff like that. And
but so you could so you could download your video from your Twitch account and then edit just that last level maybe, on Premiere Pro, and then whack it onto your YouTube channel.
I know I've done that before, but like I've clipped it first.
I
think I make like a highlight, so you clip it, and then I download that and upload that. I've done a couple, but
fair dues.
Yeah, if it's something unique, it might end up with quite a few views. There's a fairly decent like retro following on YouTube for different games and etc.
And I'll have a look again now, but maybe because this is obviously on Xbox again, maybe that's going to happen a lot more. Now people are playing it on Twitch, because before the only way you'd do it is if you had retro consoles hooked up through capture cards and things like that.
Yeah,
but like I said, I reloaded the checkpoint on that a couple of times, and that didn't work, so I had to just like restart the whole level. But I weren't as far into it as I thought, so that was a bit of fun. And then they said, oh, because I'd finished it, and they said, oh, before you go, have a go on this mode. And there's like loads of other modes as well as multiplayer.
Yeah.
And there's a mode where you're playing as a cat on roller skates. And you're racing around levels and tracks. And the funny thing is, like, the cat, like the noise the cat, like the car makes, or the cat, is the cat, like meow, meow. And then if you fall over, because he can topple over, he just like really meows and shrieks at you, and you have to press a button to like flip him back up, and it controls really bad. But there's loads of these little missions and just stuff they've made that they just thought would be a laugh. And like I said, it's just all these extra modes and stuff that they just used to give you in the game.
Yeah, I mean, if they made it and then put in like the sort of like weird, bizarre level makers and all that sort of stuff. I mean, there's a ton of games with that kind of stuff in now.
Yeah.
I mean, even Fortnite's got it.
But I think that's something they added to Fortnite, didn't they? I don't think that came when that came out. I mean,
I think it's been within the last year and a half, 2 years or something.
I mean, I played Fortnite a couple of weeks ago. Got a win as well. I didn't really talk about it because I only played it for like 3 games, but I played that years ago when it first came out, and I couldn't even remember any of it. So much has been added to it and updated. Whereas this is that's the same game when it came out as today.
Yeah,
I just like that they've got all that stuff in there, but that's good. I mean, they're not on sale anymore, the games, but I mean, I think they're only like £7 or £8 each anyway.
No,
I mean, they always go on sale. Just like stick, if anyone like wants to play another shooter, I'd definitely recommend both those games.
Nice.
Another game which I finished, still a bit retro. I finally finished after 23 years. Soul Calibur
on
the
Which
Dreamcast.
one? Oh, the first one.
What, just arcade mode?
Well, not just like basically unlocked every character. Every arena. Basically unlocked everything.
Yeah.
Because that was, I mean, I think you start off with 10 and you end up with 20 characters. Obviously, you have to complete it with every character and stuff. And there's another one which I could never work out how to, years ago, I couldn't work out how to unlock the last character. Because you have to go through a different mode and get someone's third costume by unlocking it through like a completely different mode, if you see what I mean. So I only ever got 19. I never managed to get all 20. Plus, the last 2 characters you unlock which is, Edge Master and Inferno, which are basically, even though they're separate characters, they actually copy everyone else's movesets, have their weapons. So for every fight, you've basically got a different character, not just every fight against
each round or whatever it is.
Each round. Yeah. So to actually beat the arcade mode with them, you've got to be pretty decent with every character in the game. If not, you think, oh, what does this character do? So there's a few characters I'm not too good with, and I was just like Yoshimitsu. I think he does this in Tekken as well. You know how he bounces up and down on his sword?
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, I'll bounce up and down on my sword, and then I just jumped out of the ring.
No.
And I was like, whoops, I've got to stop doing that. A few bits like that. Most of the characters, I mean, they are. I don't think it's as complicated as maybe some fighting games now. I think a lot of the move sets translate. So if you do a certain move with one character, that button combination will do something with another character. It might not do the same type of move, but it will do a move. If you see what I mean, so it'll do something, so you can pretty much get through. But it's just nice, like I said, I got this game in 1999. I finally finished it.
Well done.
Well done. So that's done. I'd say I've deleted it and uninstalled it, but you can't. It's a CD in it.
Good old days of gaming.
Well, I say good old days then. And then the next game I played, which was only for about 20 minutes, I'd done one level again, which was Sonic Adventure on Dreamcast.
Oh, that game just wasn't very good.
At the time when it first came out, when there was nothing really as good looking, it was a fantastic looking game, it just didn't control particularly great for a Sonic.
Pretty much.
And
I mean,
obviously had the VMU thing where you raised the little animal thing in your
little chows
unit, yeah.
Which I just never ever did, because I'm like, no, I'm not playing Tamagotchis, mate. I'm too cool for Tamagotchis by 1999,
Oh man, everyone had a Tamagotchi back then, didn't they? That was so cool.
The Dreamcast was one of the consoles I remember picking it up London and coming straight down to mate's house with it. And I think I arrived in the evening and turned up at his house, and I was like, all right, mate, yeah, fancy a bit of Dreamcast tonight then? He was like, what? And pulled it out, and he was like, nice. We got it all set up, and everyone was well impressed.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah.
Like Virtua Fighter, etc.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'll still, to this day, Dreamcast, and obviously PS2, Xbox, and GameCube, that leap from 32-bit to, I suppose this was 128-bit, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, around there.
It got a bit. I still think that is the biggest console leap generation we've ever had in terms of horsepower and graphics. I don't think we've had anything as significant as that from console to console.
Maybe it depends in the style of the consoles. For me personally, in my other great leaps, obviously, I will say even the 8-bit to the 16-bit was incredible.
Oh yeah, it was awesome, wasn't it? Yeah.
And then I also think the PS2 to PS3 and Xbox to Xbox 360 was really good as well, because we didn't just jump in the polygons and all of that kind of such, but we jumped in resolution and crispness of the picture as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think especially with 360, I think that's when I got the HD TV as well. I think that was that as well as that, wasn't it? Obviously. I think if you didn't have a HD TV, I don't think you'd have appreciated 360 as much, especially early on.
Yeah, see, I had a normal TV with it for about the first month or two.
Well, didn't some games, like Perfect Dark, you just couldn't read the text if you didn't have a HD TV?
I didn't get Perfect Dark, I must admit. And when I looked at the achievements for that game, I was like, what the hell are these?
Oh, yeah.
Some of those 5G for completing the game, and the rest of it was multiplayer stuff.
Yeah. That was bad. And another one which was really bad was Blue Dragon. Remember that?
Oh, Blue Dragon, yeah.
It was alright.
I think I played 85 hours for that game and got 10G.
Wow.
I completed the game as well. There's so many, but achievements, they were like rock hard and stupid, and then they sort of worked out what they were going to do. I think they got a lot easier as time went on.
Originally, they were just supposed to be showing how far through a game you were.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then it became sort of accolades. And then you got like the interesting ones that were sort of fun to do. And then you got the grindy ones.
Like looking up the girl's skirt in Lollipop Chainsaw and things like that.
Wouldn't get away with that now, would you?
Oh no, so you wouldn't look with the girl in TimeSplitters with slut on a t-shirt. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just waiting for all the bloody nutters to come in and start shouting at me, but I laugh if they
But
come
then
in.
you also have to wonder how many games back then feature loads of like shirtless men with their six packs rippling and stuff. But
You
yeah,
still get that on games
no one
now.
complains about that though.
You still get the men with that now, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But as I say, no one complains about that though.
No, that's
But
it.
it doesn't go that way, does it? Only goes one way. Never mind. Yeah, so I only played Sonic for like 20 minutes because I had to stop to come on air. But the problem is, which it did happen before, the game kept freezing.
Oh.
So, it happened last time, and I've looked. The disc is absolutely scratched to hell.
Oh.
So I think that's why. So yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be looking on eBay trying to
Why
get.
have you not got a CD rewriter for your computer?
No, I've got a laptop.
Oh no, so you can buy. So this is what I did when I got my Saturn and my Dreamcast. I bought a USB CD rewriter and just bought a load of blank CDs. You just download the games and burn them to disk, and they just run.
That was a huge machine for piracy. I remember back in the day, both PS2 and
Dreamcast. I mean, Dreamcast was big for it because it didn't have any anti-piracy in it. You just burn the disc and away you go.
Yeah, we used to have like some woman used to punt them out at our work.
That's awesome.
Like all the latest like Japanese imports and stuff as well. She'd download them and sell them to you for $10 a pop.
Brilliant. Oh,
no, I never did that, but I mean, I know why now because Dreamcast they just announced, when it came out, it played Dreamcast games or CDs.
Yep.
It also had, I think there was about 8 or 9 like weird game whatever they were in Japan, which used I think it was called VCD.
Yes, the video CD. Yeah.
The video CDs. It was these weird sort of ones where people used the Dreamcast to have like looking around houses and stuff like that.
Okay.
And things like that. It was a weird sort of thing that was more meant for businesses than actual games and stuff like that. Like virtually look around a house, like like
walk
in America.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, like they were building houses or what they call them, condominiums or whatever they called them back then. They all looked identical. Basically, they were sending these out for people. They could look at their house. Right. They would build them, and they could walk around and see how it would look. So basically, they realised if you just burnt the game onto one of those discs or whatever, just put it in, and it just ran.
That's so cool.
So the others, so you couldn't put a fake CD in there or a fake Dreamcast, size CD, but you could put the other one in.
Yeah.
It just run. So it was like, a completely different format, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So that didn't help being in the end of Dreamcast, did it?
No.
Never mind. That's good old times. They should bring a new Dreamcast out.
It did come out. It was called the Xbox.
Pretty much.
Yeah, well, I looked at it like that. The Sega helped design the controller, or the S controller S, wasn't it, for the original system, I believe, and we had a lot of really fantastic Sega games on the system as well.
Yeah.
We don't get any fantastic Sega games anymore, do we? Really?
Not really. There's very
not
few.
As much. Still get a few. It's like usually the Yakuza stuff, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the odd Sonic game when they decide to bother.
Well, that Sonic Colors just come out on the Dreamcast on the Switch, didn't it? That's going to be pretty decent.
Not on the Switch, it ain't.
Is it not?
No, they were actually. I think that's one of the only games Nintendo were giving refunds to digital copies of the Switch. That was so broken.
Really?
Even on Xbox Series X, it was broken. I mean, I think they've patched it to hell now, so I don't know if it's better now than it was. But I remember my mate streaming that on Xbox Series X, and the sound was messed up. The game kept like freezing, crashing into dashboard. Like he'd press jump for Sonic, and then like 5 seconds later, the sound effect of him jumping would happen.
Oh,
it was that bad.
Awesome.
It was a really, really bad port.
Well, I'll play it this week, and I'll let you know what it's like on the podcast next week.
You can play it on Switch.
Yep.
Ultimate test. Hope you don't spend too much money on it, Webby.
Of course I won't.
Right, and the last game I played, all these retro games I play, is a brand new one out on Friday. Was it Pokemon Legends Arceus? I don't know really how to say it properly.
Pokemon Arceus? You say Arceus or Arceus?
I don't know. I've heard people say it
It's probably Arceus or something like that.
Well, that's 3 different ways to say it. I've heard so many different pronunciations on YouTube. I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's a new game. I got it delivered Friday as well. I think it's actually cheap at the moment at Curry's, 35 quid.
Yeah.
If you put like a code in with free delivery, so if anyone wants it, that'll probably be like that for another 3 or 4 days, maybe a bit longer.
Yeah.
I'm to be honest, I'm really enjoying this game. I must be about 5, 6, 7 hours into it. I mean, it's a bit text heavy, and the tutorials do seem to go on forever. And spoilers, I know you played a bit of it, Webby. I don't know how much you played of it.
Yeah, I've not played as much as you. Maybe a couple of hours. The problem is my Switch. If I attempt to play my Switch during the day, my boy's all over it, right? So
what are you doing, Dad?
Yeah. So I mean, as I say, I've had a few hours on it. My boy's been watching me play it, and I'm actually quite enjoying it because, to be honest, I normally don't like the Pokemon games. I just find them a bit boring, to be honest. But I'm liking this for a few reasons so far. One of them is the art style is really nice. It reminds me of Zelda. So it looks very, very similar to that. And I'm liking the big open world, which just looks fantastic. But the story itself, very reminiscent of Ni no Kuni, and I think that's another reason why I'm enjoying it. Now, the reason I'm saying it's like Ni no Kuni, it's not, his mum's died and he's cried into this thing and Drippy the doll and all that stuff. It's similar in a way where your character has come through this portal in the sky and he's in this completely new world. And then the professor finds him, and then you join this Pokemon team in this village, and then you go out and find the Pokemon. And just that aspect of a character dropping into a completely new world, Ni no Kuni, and obviously Ni no Kuni is about capturing all these monsters, Pokemon. I mean, they ripped off Pokemon with that, but it just feels like that in that way. And the battle system in this is quite good as well, because you throw your Pokeball out and then you have a fight. But it's weird because your character, you can still run around with your character, and then you give your Pokemon commands, to do the different moves that the Pokemon has, and you can use your items as well. Like you make the enemy weak, and then you chuck a Pokeball at them to capture them, right?
And also, the Pokemon can hit you as well if you get his way.
Yeah.
Which is new for a Pokemon game.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I've had to dodge out the way a few times. But the open world, it does feel quite MMO-ish as well, because there's certain areas where they're like, oh, you can't go there because the Pokemon levels are too high. And then and then what I noticed in that beginning area, there was one Pokemon that was like a level 40. And it reminded me of an MMO, because you get MMOs, where you're in like a lower end area, then there's one big monster just walking around, which you're like, oh, I don't want to fight that.
To make you go back there later to try and capture it.
Yeah,
I done him over. I know what you mean. It's like he's you hear the different music and he's got like big red eyes.
yeah,
The
that's right.
Pokemon's
Yeah,
got red eyes and
yeah,
it's got like the red skull or something over his head when you start fighting him. It's like,
yeah,
don't fight him.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, as I say, I'm very early on, but what I've played so far is quite enjoyable. To be honest, it got its hooks into me a little bit because last night I was playing some other games which I'll get into later, and then I laid in bed and I was like, oh, I'll play a little bit of Pokemon. So I was just laying in bed and I'm pumped about another hour into Pokemon, just laying in bed, just because it's quite chill, just going around, just exploring and capturing all the Pokemon and that, because they're all different. Like there's ones that you have to sneak up on, and ones that you have to fight and then capture, and some you can just capture. It's got that nice variety there.
Because you like sneak up on them in the grass, and they
Yeah,
say if you get behind them, you press another button, and then you can see like arrows on top of their heads. Like
yeah,
if it's like orange with a one line on it, it's probably ain't going to catch it. Then it goes yellow and green.
yeah.
So obviously and you sneak up on it. And I'm really good at sneaking up on them because I mean Webby gives me a load of grief for this, but I know he struggles as well. When I switch from PlayStation to Xbox controllers, I'm not too bad because obviously X is in a different
Yeah,
place.
yeah, yeah.
With this, X is in another. I still have to keep looking at the
Oh yeah.
controller.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like
no,
X and
I've had
Y.
to do it as well, mate,
Yeah.
to be
So,
honest. I know I'll
I'm
give you shit,
walking
but
up
yeah.
to the Pokemon. I'm like, right, crouch and walk slowly up towards him. Then I press the wrong button and I just dive head first at him and then like
Yeah.
near enough crash into him. I'm like, oh great. Then I mean the menus are a bit hard to navigate at the moment. I mean I tried to chuck a Pokeball at a Pokemon and somehow I chucked a mushroom at him, which they thought was my chat thought was hilarious. But I mean, like I said, because before Christmas, when the last one came out, the shiny diamond and brilliant pearl. I think I've got it the wrong way around, but
They,
anyway,
they,
when
they,
they kept
they've put out
again,
quite a lot of Pokemon games on the Switch, haven't they, in its life cycle
well,
already?
as far as I'm aware, those were remakes of the DS games
Yeah.
by like a third party, and this is actually like the main
Right, yeah.
Pokemon company. This is their main game.
Yeah.
See what I mean? They
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
outsourced that, and the same as like I said, I played Red and Blue back in the day. Then like the Game Boy Advance ones like Ruby and was remakes of the first two on the GBA, which was a Fire Red and Leaf Green. I
Yeah.
played those, and then I pretty much completely skipped all the DS and 3DS stuff. Completely missed that, missed Sword and Shield, and the last one I played is Let's Go Pikachu,
Yeah.
which is another remake of the first game. So when I played this, the Brilliant Diamond or whatever it is, I played it for about 2 hours, and even though it's like different Pokemon, it's exactly the same game every time. You wake up in your house, go down and speak to mum. Oh, you got to go see the professor, and you see him, and you have the fight in the grass, and you pick one of your free starters. You go on your adventure. You got your rival. You do your gyms and your Elite Four and all that. And it's like I played this for 2 hours, like when it came out last. I thought I've played this game before several times, whereas this one, it's like a completely different game, isn't it? It's not the same top down walk around game that we played. What probably 10 times over in different variations they've made over the years.
I mean, as I say, I'm not. I I think like the last Pokemon game I properly played was on the original Game Boy.
I
So
say, other than graphics being a little bit better and obviously colours, they haven't changed at all.
right,
Still the same. I think Sword and Shield may have changed like to 3D.
right.
Other than that, they're pretty much the same sort of game.
Yeah,
Same.
coming from someone who's not, because you get these Pokemon fanatics that love, like,
Yeah.
they love every game and they're well into it. I'm coming from someone who, hasn't played one in 20 odd years or whatever. So I'm kind of, fresh. It's just I just think it's an enjoyable game for what it is. It's a nice open world. Like so far, my initial impressions anyway. You have your little village, you start in a hub area, then you go out into the wilderness. The map looks really big. It looks like there's a lot to explore. So yeah, I've just enjoyed what I've played of it so far. Just as a decent game, really.
I mean, because this is pretty much. I mean, like I say, I mean, I don't know if you know, but this is like a sequel to any Pokemon game because basically this is set. I don't know if they said how many hundreds or thousands of years before the first one. Because, like I say, Pokemon are not everybody's friends. They will attack you and probably kill you. I don't know if they said they'll kill you in the game, but they're not. You don't see Pokemon attack people pretty much in like all the games and the movies and stuff like that.
Right.
And this professor, and basically you're starting first Pokedex that's ever been made. You are using like the first Pokeballs that have ever been made.
Yeah.
It's like a new invention. So that's basically what it is. This is like the first Pokemon game.
Right. Oh, that's pretty cool then.
Just that's why the
ultimate
Pokeballs
prequel.
look like they look like acorns, don't they?
Yeah, and you can build them out
because there's like a lot of crafting and items and stuff, and there's a lot of people arguing on Twitch and Twitter, and someone came into my chat. Well, actually, two people came into my chat, but the first one came into my chat because I called it Pokemon of the Wild or something, like a piss take of Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah,
and they came in my chat. It's nothing like Zelda. It's a completely different game. I was like, yeah, whatever, mate. Piss off. Then another bloke came into my chat when I was playing this. What was his name? I think it was Webby 360G. He came into my chat and he said, "Game looks like shit, mate."
Yeah, it was really weird because the first time I'd seen it, because I didn't acquire it until the following day.
Yeah,
and it looks better on my TV than it did on your stream for some reason.
What?
Yeah, it did. But it just looked a bit like also there is a lot of pop-in the world.
Yeah, but you've been playing mostly handheld, have you?
Nah, I've been playing half and half, yeah, on my big TV and a little bit of handheld. I actually prefer playing it on the TV, to be honest.
Oh, I do. I mean, I've been playing it on a 4K TV, so I don't know if...
Yeah, that's what I've been doing as well. Yeah.
But the graphics, I mean, I think this was... I've never known a game be so diverse with the graphics pretty much since Zelda Wind Waker on GameCube. There's some people are like really enjoying them and some people are really hating on them.
Yeah.
Saying it's like the worst looking Pokemon game ever made.
I think it looks decent, mate. I like all these art styles that Nintendo do on their games,
Yeah, but it's weird because it's like some areas really nice and clean, like especially the indoor areas, and like you would expect. Well, like I said, when you go out into the open world, at a distance you think, "Oh, this looks really nice," and then look at the grass, you think, "Oh, that's nice grass. That's a JPEG of grass that someone's just googled." And well, that's a nice tree. There's no textures on it, and there is a little bit of like stutter, like frame rates, and like you said, a bit of pop in, but
yeah.
I like it. I don't know. It's weird. It's like it's kind of cell shaded, but not. It's kind of like that. It's like pastel drawing type thing. Breath of the Wild did, but not. It's a weird art style, isn't it? I mean, I'm enjoying it, and like I said, I've already played this one for probably 3 times as long as the last one, so I'll definitely... I mean, I've seen some of my mates been streaming this, and they're already up to, like, 40, 50 hours already. I was like, man, this has only been out since Friday. How have you been playing it that long? They got level 70, 80 Pokemon already.
Bloody hell. I've got to just run downstairs quick. I'll be back in 2 minutes, so you carry on without me for a few minutes.
I was finished talking about it then.
All right, we'll talk about something else for 2 minutes.
I haven't played any more games. What am I supposed to talk about? I don't know. What have you been up to then, Switch?
It's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's gone to grab a drink or something, no doubt. I've generally been doing like a training course up London all week, so I haven't really played a lot, to be honest. Was kind of entertaining. It was in a building that was the other side of Downing Street. So one half of the building sort of went over into Downing Street. So it was like the sort of Foreign Commonwealth Office or something.
Did you hear any parties going off over there?
Yeah, no. Well, I'd have probably been dragged away anyway, because when we was going around in the office itself, you have to be accompanied by a security guard at all times.
Ooh. Well, yeah, obviously they're going to be strict because that's basically like England's White House, pretty much, isn't it? That and Buckingham Palace
Technically,
and things like
they scan your bag when you go in and give you like a passcode on a keypad where the numbers keep changing. Every time you enter a number, it randomises them again.
Sounds like something out of Metal Gear Solid, doesn't it?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah. But yeah, it's the first time I've been up London since all of the pandemic shit, to be honest.
Yeah, I went in November. I went to this gaming market thing, and it was actually like where I've been before, like football, but it was still pretty dead. November, I still don't think still think it's at full capacity, is it? If it was with you, this was November though. Plus, that was a Sunday, so maybe it's not as busy on a Sunday as it is during the week. But
I think it all depends. It didn't seem anywhere near as busy in the mornings when I was going up there and such. So I imagine there's a lot of people who are working from home, yeah. So, like, I remember constantly going up because I was arriving up in London by 8 a.m. So I was sort of leaving my area about 7, and I remember those trains used to be like standing room at one point, even after a couple of stops. But yeah, there were still seats when we was pulling into Victoria.
Sitting down all the time as well, so yeah. It was fun riding them at like 8, 9 o'clock at night, and I'm walking around. I'm like, I think it's this way. I was like, do I ask someone?
Hello?
I'm not asking them. Not asking them.
Hello.
Right, are you? Is that everything you? Is that you done, Nick?
That's me done with the Pokemon.
Cool. My missus had a weird thing with the Xbox downstairs. The controller wasn't working. It was on, but it wasn't, like, the light was on, but it wasn't working. I tried to resync it and stuff, and the only way I could solve it was by turning it off, like, completely unplugging the power lead. Then plugging it back in, and it mysteriously worked.
That's basically a hard reset, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, bloody thing. Anyway, that's it for the free portion of this week's episode. If you want to listen to the whole episode, you need to sign up to the Patreon over at patreon.com/360gamercast. Sign up there for as little as £5 a month. You're getting a full episode every single week of the year and any special episodes that we do. If you want to be a freeloader, that's fine. You'll get a full episode next week on the normal podcast feed, or you can listen live every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. twitch.tv/Webby360G. Over there, if you listen live, you get the full show and you get to join in the chat. So why not give that a go?